Jai Gurudev, Namaste, good evening to all of you. So we'll start our session with prayer. For prayer, sit comfortably, but keep your spine erect and gently close your eyes. Take one deep, long breath in. Exhale deeply. Now we'll recite Om 3 times. Breathe in for Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviyam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vedvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Once again, take one deep, long breath in. And while exhaling, slowly open your eyes. Namaste, Jai Gurudev. So friends, yesterday we were discussing about the Prana. It was discussed that although the Prana is cosmic energy is one according to Hatha Yoga, but when it works at the different places in the body, the different names are given and their functions also were discussed. Also the sub-pranas, Nag, Kurum, Kripka, Devdat, Dhananjay, that was also discussed. And today the concept of mitahara. Actually speaking, the sadhaka should take care of the food. And particularly in our Hatha Yogic text, it is said that unless we follow the proper diet, as in Satpadipika, the second chapter, it is said, Atasane dede yogi, bashi hit mitashana, bashi, some control. First, the four things are described here. What is that? Asana. Unless we prepare our body with the help of the cultural poses as we had discussed, and then only we are able to sit for a long period of time by folding our legs in meditative posture. So that is the first prerequisite according to Hatha Yoga. That is the prerequisite. Now the second one is bashi. Our control should be our control on the sensory organs. That should also be there. Bashi hit mitashana. Hit mitashana, the food. What is hitkar and mitkar? What is agreeable to our constitution, yeah, temperament, what is suitable to our constitution. So the food which is suitable to our constitution and agreeable to our temperament, that food plays a very, very important role uh, in, in the progress of what we call the sadhana. General idea is given by Hatpadipika as well as Garen Samhita. Susnigdam maduraharam. Susnigdam means the food should be lubricated. It should be sweet in taste. And Turthansh vivardita, we have to leave the 1/4 part empty. So quantity. So quality and quantity and care for attitude. These three things are described in this concept of mitahar. Mitahar is a balanced diet actually. He said that, and if we follow this, what is the quality? It should be pure, fresh. It should be lubricated. Wherein fruits, sprouts, green vegetables, milk, ghee, etc., it is prescribed for the yoga sadhaka. Unwholesome food, stimulants, intoxicants, there's a long list described by both the text, big list. So that is not mentioned here, but those who are intoxicants, stimulants, chilies, coffee, and this garlic, onion, particularly for the sadhaka, it is to be avoided. Although, if there is a need, we can take it as a medicine, but not as a regular practice. That is what. So that is the unwholesome. Big list, and apatya, big list is available in the. With regard to the quantity, it is said that we should divide our hunger into 4 parts. 2 parts should be filled with the what you call this the food. 1 part water, and the rest should be kept empty. So in easy, bhook rakh ke khana khana. This is the most important part for the practitioner. Now, prayer for attitude, which is very, very important. This is the importance of this should be understood properly. Even psychologists, they have also understood this, that before eating, if we release all kinds of tensions, then the secretion of the enzymes and the digestive juices will be proper, So that is what, therefore, it is compulsory that we should just pray before eating. And not only that, it also gives a different kind of understanding. Otherwise, bhokta, Hanumanta, that is what Bhagavad Ahankar Vimudatma Karta Bhokta Ahamiti Manyate. So that concept is also very, very important. But at least it should release. And whenever we are angry, we are disturbed, little agitated, first of all, we should remove this somewhere or other, and then only we should eat the food. Otherwise, this food will be converted into what you call this acid. Ultimately, the food converts into acid. It is the alkaline which maintains what you call the balance. But if we are totally shant, if we are calm and quiet before eating, then the proper secretion of the digestive juices will be proper, and food will be digested properly. This is a very good practice. Now coming to the another concept, it's a Nadi. Nadi means the subtle energy channels. Actually, these Nadis, according to our scripture, even these Nadis are different than that of Ayurvedic Nadis. What to talk of the what you call the arteries and the veins? These Nadis cannot be compared with arteries and veins and this and that. These are the subtle body, And in our scripture, as here it is mentioned, Harpadipika and other, most of the Hatha Yogic texts, they said 72,000 nadis. But if we go through Charandas, it talks about the 72,864. Samhita talks about 350,000 nadis. But the most important are said to be the 10 nadis, that's Ida, Pingala, Sushumana, Shankhani, Pusha, Jasani, and Gandhari, Hastani, and Lambika. These are from where they go, the navel to the nostril, left nostril, navel to the right nostril. Navel is considered to be, there are 2 concepts in our yogic literature. Some of the the Adi yogis, they accept that this Kand is there in the navel region. And other opinion is that it is below the Mooladhara, from where the all nadis are originated. That Kand is the bulbous root. So if we accept this navel, it's somewhere it will be difficult to explain the Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. Therefore, mostly it is accepted that it is the Mooladhara, below the Mooladhara, and that is what. So most important nadis are said to be the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Ida is the left nostril, and that we have discussed yesterday. When your left nostril is dominant, your right hemisphere is active, and Pingala is right nostril is dominant, left hemisphere. Left is the left brain, right is the what you call the right brain, and left is dominant, right brain. So the purpose, because this left brain is a sequential brain continuously working, even you are sleeping, it is working. So with a view to calm that left brain and to increase the activity of the right brain, so that is what it is established now with the scientific studies. Many studies are carried out on the dominance of the what you call the nostril on the brain functioning. That is what is available. So nadis, now the chakras. Now here you can little bit understand that these are the chakras, the petals, where they are situated in our body, the color of these chakras, and how many petals are there, letters, what are the letters, even the deities. So that is what is described. When I was doing this, so this Sanjama program, so Gurudev said that Ganesha is there in the Mooladhara. So here you can see it's proved that Ganesha is said to be the deity of the Mooladhara chakra. So that is what is here. Ganesha, then Brahma, Savitri, Indra, Vishnu, Lakshmi, Shiva, Shakti, Jiva, Agni, and then the Guru, last one. That's right. So these are the just description, nothing, because it is described, so one should know. Sometime, when you sit for meditation, sometimes you see the color. If it is a red color, then you have to understand it is related to Mooladhara. It's yellow, blue, or white. So that is, for that it is good to know. So going back little, so you have to understand this, that the three nadis are very, very important. That is what it is said. And now this Mooladhara, it governs our stability. That is what is to be understood by the sadhaka. Stability is governed by the Mooladhara. Our sensuality and sense of security is Mooladhara, because of the Mooladhara chakra. Now the Swadhisthana governs the reproduction, creativity, joy, enthusiasm, relationships, violence, addiction, basic emotional needs is related to the Swadhisthana. So whenever we are sitting, if some thought comes, from where it is come, it can be correlated. It depends upon the practitioner. Manipur chakra governs the digestion, personal power, and all matters of growth. The Anahat chakra deals with the complex emotions, compassion, tenderness, unconditional love, devotion, equilibrium, circulation, rejection, and well-being. This is what is the what can be understood. When we are talking about the Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha, Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, we can understand it is more related to the heart chakra. Vishuddha governs the self-expression and communication. Agya chakra deals with the visual consciousness and access and clarity of the intuitions. This is the most important. There are many things. Nadi, as I said, that one point I wanted to share with regard to the nadis, they are not visible. Actually, the practitioner can understand. If we are practicing, that sensation can be understood by the practitioner only. An example can be taken when you are sitting in front of the TV or your mobile. It is connected with the this tower. So from tower to your mobile, it is a subtle path which is not visible. Is only visible to this electronic, that in the TV or in the mobile and other thing. Likewise, the practitioner can understand this is true, because otherwise it is very difficult to understand. These are the what you call the chakras. Now, the bandhas, because ultimately these are very useful in the practice. And if we know all these things, it will be helpful. So the mool bandha is very, very important to understand how to practice it. Just we raise the sphincter a little up, and there's a naturally less lock. The purpose, as you have understood, that the apan prana, which is below the navel region and up to the anus area, this prana, tendency of this prana to go down. With the help of this Moola Bandha, we are restricting its downward activity. We are trying to pull it up, push it up. This is what is the purpose of this Moola Bandha. Now, after this inhalation, when you inhale to completely, then you put your chin in the jugular notch. This is called Jalandhar. This area is called Jalandhar actually. This area in Sanskrit is called Jalandhar. Therefore, it is called Jalandhar. You are locking the upper doors. Now, the tendency of the prana, which is from the nose to the chest, it has a tendency to go up. With a view to restrict that upward activity of this prana, Jalandhar Bandha is very, very helpful. Now, this Udyan Bandha, with the help of, it is said in the traditional text, particularly in the Hat Pradipika, Pinam Kurte Mahakhaga. Khag means here stands for the Vayu, the air, prana. Pinam Kurte, it jumps into Sushumna. This is the Udyan Bandha actually. So they see the posterior stretching here. Here you can see the posterior stretching. The whole stomach is taken, the backside. And when the sadhaka does this, so the prana, which is revolving at the perineum part, yesterday I was talking about that Kundalini Shakti or that pranic Shakti, that enters into Sushumna Nadi with the help of, jumps into Sushumna Nadi because of this Udyan Bandha. This is what is actually the purpose of these bandhas. In spite of that, these are very useful for the other means physical aspect, cultural part also. This Udyan Bandha, whenever you do, raise the diaphragm up. When you raise the diaphragm up, what happens? Your all organs, day before yesterday, I was talking what happens because of the Nauli and Udyan. Negative pressure is created. Your heart takes rest a little bit because of this practice, And there's no problem related to the stomach if we are a regular practitioner of this Udyan. But this Udyan and what you call the pranayam, it cannot be mastered without the help of what you call the Agnisar and Kapalabhati. So when we are perfect and in Udyan, this is a sitting position in Udyan, but in a standing position also, we keep our palms on the what you call the little up from the knees, on the thighs, below the near the what you call the knees, and we bend little, and then we raise the diaphragm up. When we raise the diaphragm up, so all your organs which are situated in the abdomen, actually speaking, they get proper massage. Or when there is a pancreas or the other organs, all they get proper massage. Because of this massage, this muscle, even though when we practice this, what you call the raising our halasana, so that also help us because the muscles become strong. And that help us not only in the digestion, but also help us to sit for a long period of time in meditative posture. So these are the very, very important practices. The practitioner must know these practices. So the purpose is ultimately to enter the Prana. Udinam kurte mahakhaga, that pran, which is revolving at the brain, cosmic energy is concealed here in the Mooladhara, that enters into Sushumna Nadi, jumps into Sushumna Nadi. That is what is the purpose of Dhyan. The sequence must be understood. The practitioner must understand the. So in the beginning, when we are sitting by folding our legs, then in meditative posture, whether it is a Padmasana, Siddhasana, or whatever, Sukhasana, whatever. So when we sit like that, and thereafter we have to inhale. Before inhalation, we have to lift our rectum little up, so that there should be a anasla. As you inhale, after complete inhalation, the second is the Jalandhar. You have to put the Jalandhar. Then Kumbhakante, this is a Kumbhaka part. Kumbhaka part, when you are a little bit exhausted, so before you start the Rechaka, along with the Rechaka, you have to practice the Uddiyana Bandha. This helps. Paschimtan, posterior stretching. This is a posterior stretching which help us to tackle that energy. And it can be, it can be sensed, it can be what you call the means experienced. It's not a matter that it cannot be done. It can be done only by yogis. No, not at all. Whosoever is practicing can experience. Sometime, after that you can feel sometime as if the ant is keeping from in the backside, So this can be felt. So because if we practice it, we can understand. Now, another concept, this is called mudra. There are many mudras, Khechari mudra. These bandhas are also said to be Udyan bandha. These are all considered under the Pradeepka considers 10 mudra. Garen Samhita gives us 5 mudra, 25 mudras. And that depends upon the. So, but these are the purpose of mudra. First of all, let us understand the meaning of this mudra. Mudra, mudam. Mudam means anandam, bliss. Anandam, rati. That which brings the ananda is called mudra. How it brings the, say for example, it is said that there is a in our skull, there is a Chandra Mandal, and from that Chandra Mandal, the nectar is oozing all the time, and that nectar ultimately goes to the what you call the navel region, and that sun is sitting here that consumes that nectar, and therefore there is a aging factor. So when we do this Baprit Karni Mudra, topsy-turvy, what you call the position, naturally your navel becomes up and this becomes down. The Khechari Mudra, it is when we put our tongue in the nasopharyngeal cavity, nasopharyngeal, and if we practice it for a few months, so without cutting the frenum, we should not. Although in the text it is said we have to cut the frenum, we have to make it longer, we have to milk the tongue, we have to take the tongue towards the ear, right ear, left ear becomes longer, and when it becomes longer, then we have to put this in the nasopharyngeal cavity. So there was a practitioner, in Ramananda Yogi, in his association. I was around 10 years, because 10 years he was in Kaivalya Dham. So I was learning many things from him. But he said me that you should not, because he had cut the perineum and he was able to put the tongue in the nasopharyngeal cavity. He said that without cutting the perineum also, you can put the tongue in the nasopharyngeal cavity and you can experience it. He gave many times he given me that kind of practice. Although I was not so successful in this practice, but sometime, when I used to do this, it is a kind of experience that you have a different, means you are in a different world, like something like that. It happens, but it's a matter of practice. So this gives you ananda. This mudra gives you ananda. So nectar is tasted here. It is not allowed to go down. This is what you call the khechari mudra. He charti iti khechari. He means akash, the space. So the person is having that kind of what you call the experience when one tastes that nectar which is oozing all the time. It is a matter of practice. So it tackles the energy so that the Kundalini Shakti can be awakened. This is the purpose. Protect the energy that consumed by the sun at navel. That's what I was talking. Help in directing the pranavayu into Sushumna Nadi. This is the purpose of mudra. It is not a single practice. Composite view of all the practices should be taken into consideration according to Hatha Yoga, not because it is a sequential relationship from one practice to. If you have to sit for this, what you call pranayam. So as I said, athasane dede, first asana is compulsory, then athasane dede yogi bashi, some control over the senses, mitashana, agreeable and whatever is suitable to the, and guru upadishta mark. And this is a very, very important. Without master, this should not be practiced. It even in the practice when we are going to talk about this, we'll discuss in detail. There's another concept which is called Nada. Now here there are two types. In a Rigvedic theory, there's two types of Nada. This Anahat Nada, which is Om sound actually. This is a primordial sound. This is also called Anahat Nada. And in Rigvedic theory, the all creation is created. Everything is created out of this sound. Vak, thereafter. Thereafter comes this Vak. So, in Hatha Yogic literature, this concept of Nad is different. What they say, when you practice this Mool Bandha, you raise the Apana up. The help of Jalandhar Bandha, you take the Prana down. And when there's a mix, when they mix together, when you combine these two, apane yuhti pranam, that is what Bhagavad Gita also said. Apane yuhti pranam, prane yuhti apanam. When it merged together, there's that sound, internally aroused sound. And that sound is said to be Nada according to Hatha Yogis. That is the Nada. Internally aroused sound. And another Nad is that Om is going on incessantly in and out, but our ears are not attuned to listen that sound properly. So we go on reciting and we try to listen that sound. Sometimes we recite 10 times and then the instructor says that now without reciting the sound, try to listen the sound. And sometimes, we become so concentrated that we can listen that sound also. But when we totally listen, when we are able to listen that sound, thereafter we interpret this universe in a different manner, not based on the name and forms. It is a different level. That is a one concept. That is a Rigvedic concept itself. In Hatha Yoga, particularly, this Prana and Apana, when they merge together, when they meet together, then there's a sound, and that is called Nada according to the Hatha Yogis. And Manas is said to be the king of senses. Prana is said to be the king of Manas. Laya is the king of Prana, Maruta, and Laya depends upon the Nada, inner sound. That is what the internally aroused sound. So this is the concept of Nada actually, according to Hatha Yoga. Now, this Nadanusandan, according to it, there's a different stages. In the Prarambha Avastha, what happens during that time is to be practiced in Shanmukhi Mudra. So what happens in the Arambha Avastha, in the starting, it is a tinkling sound is heard within the body, which gives a feeling of well-being. This is the first sound sadhaka can hear. There, after the Ghatavastha, as if the kettle drum is being beaten in the nasopharyngeal cavity, this is what is the second. It is then the Pachyavastha, kettle drum sound heard in between the eyebrows, the Agya Chakra. And this Nishpatti state is a well-attuned Veena sound can be heard. It is described in Hadapradipika. Easily it can be seen. Now, these are the concepts which I wanted to discuss with you. These are the almost all concepts we have discussed. Prana, Mitahara, Nadis, Chakras, Bandhas, Mudras, Kundalini, that is the pranic Shakti, and the Nada. These all concepts I wanted to discuss with you, so that I have discussed. Now how to tackle this. This is a very, very important now. And here, particularly the regulation of breath is very, very. They have given us the what do you call the guidelines. So these are very, very important guidelines. As long the prana present in the body, there is a life. Javat vayu sthito dehe tavat jivan muchyate. This is what. But that vayu, which is revolving in the perineum part, that is what I was talking about. So long. Otherwise, with your this practice, pranayama, particularly kumbhaka, you can stop the breathing. There is a record, 8 minutes record, scientific yoga site is published, scientific study. You can stop the prana, and sometimes prana automatically stops. And it stops not only for hours, it stays for days together. So it does not mean that the prana stops and person is dead. No. So long that prana is present, it can be understood when the person dies. What happens? This prana goes sometimes through the eyes. Eyes remain open. Sometimes from the mouth it remains open. Sometimes from the ear. Sometimes from the the lower passages. So this is what. So long that javat vayu sthito, so long that prana is present in the body, the person is alive. And when that prana goes out, is dead. So this is so long this breathing goes on. This is very, very important. So the prana mind is moving, unsteady. So because the nature of the energy is a restless, how we can make it steady? This is a question. The nature is rajasic nature. This pranic energy. Energy is having a rajasic nature. This body is tamasic nature. This body cannot move unless the prana helps. This body cannot move. So how to do it? So first of all, we have to tackle this prana. If we are able to tackle the prana, then we make it sattvic. How to make it sattvic? Only by dealing with it, only by adding our awareness to it. And once we do that, then automatically our mind becomes calm and quiet. So whenever we want to check the speed of our mind, it is better to check the speed of our breath. And if you are able to do so, you can experience it. So prerequisite for this that I have already discussed: asana, food habits, control over the senses and guide, purification of the nadis, etc. These are the very, very important. Bapu krishattam badane prasanta. So bapu krishattam, body becomes slim, Badane prasanta, lustrous face. Swar soshtavan, your voice become melodious. Nadi Shuddhi pranayam is a prerequisite that is called Anulom Vilom, complete control over one's body. It cures the dysfunction of Vata, Pitta and Kapha, increases the gastric fire. Slimness of the body, lustrous face, purification of nadis are the characteristics of its mastery. This is what is the caution. We have to be very, very careful while practicing pranayama. So therefore, master is needed. Guru Upadishta Margena, it is to be practiced. So it says, as we are what we call the ringmaster, tackles the wild animals slowly, slowly. Similarly, we have to tackle this prana very, very slowly, without any jerk, we used to call it. without any jerk, without otherwise, अन्यथा हन्ति साधकम, अन्यथा and otherwise it may create many problems. Therefore it is said, yukta abhyasa yogena, if you practice it properly, then sarva roga kshayo bhavet, you will be able to overcome all kinds of problems. But if ayukta abhyasa yogena, if you practice it wrongly, then sarva rog samudbhava, there will be innumerable problems may arise. Therefore, we have to stop. So here I will stop, and then it is a matter of practice now. So we will take it tomorrow. And okay. So let us sit comfortably, but keep your spine erect. Take one deep, long breath. Exhale deeply. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Once again, take one deep, long breath in, and while exhaling, slowly open your eyes. Namaste and